All right, heels up or heels down when rowing? That's what we're gonna chat about today. This is a really common question that I get asked, and I see a bunch of people talking about whether your heels should come up when you're rowing, when you're at the front catch position, or whether your heels should stay down. So why might you do one or the other? Is one better than the other? And should you not lift your heels at all? Let's dive in. All right, my name is Amanda Diver. I'm the rowing doc. I'm a doctor of physical therapy, here to help you row without being in pain. All right, so first off, this is what we're chatting about today. Whether your heels should come up when you're at the catch, or if they should stay down like that and not lift off of the footrest. So up or down. So when it comes to rowing and having your heel up versus down, there's a couple of things that you need to consider. First is, how much ankle mobility do you have? Are you a person who has a fused ankle? Are you a person who has broken your ankle or injured it multiple times and you don't have a lot of movement in this up and down position? If you are a person who does not have a lot of movement when it comes to bringing your toes up towards your shin, then keeping your heels down is going to be really, really difficult. Now, when you're rowing or not rowing, your ankle in general should have about 20 degrees or more of ankle flexibility or mobility up in that upward direction. There are a significant amount of people in this world that do not have that motion. If I just show you the difference between my left and my right, you would see that you can probably see here that my right foot you can see more of than my left foot. I am not equal. I have one leg that has injuries and one ankle that does not have injuries. So right there, you can see that one ankle might be able to have that full range and the other one doesn't. So the first thing I recommend you look at is, what are your ankles doing? Do you have that mobility, that flexibility, that movement at the ankle for one reason or another? If you don't, then keep listening. If you do, fantastic, but also keep listening. So that's the first thing that I like for people to consider. Check out the video that I'm linking above to rowing and squatting and how they're related. And I talk a lot about the ankle mobility and how you can kind of look at that in relation to a squat in that video. So I highly recommend that you check that out. But the first thing is the ankle mobility. So the second thing to consider is, do you have full range of motion in your knee? Do you have full range of motion in your hip? Do you have a belly? Do you have another reason that your stroke should be altered at the front catch position? Now, I've got a link above to rowing if you've got a belly like me, so you might want to check that out, where I talk about some adaptations that you might want to make for rowing. But the biggest thing is, there's some reasons that you may not want to go as far up at the catch. One of those reasons is having a stomach or having bigger thighs. If you have something else that's limiting you, knee, hip, a belly, I'm just gonna use belly as the example right now, but if you have something else that is limiting you, I have nowhere else to go right now because I'm hitting my stomach and my thighs together. So this is my front position. In order for me to get farther, I would need to start to flex at my back, which is a whole other thing that you may or may not want to do. I've also got a video about if you've got low back pain, this might be something you don't want to do. But when you're at this catch position, whatever is stopping you, whether it's ankle mobility like we just talked about, knee, hip, or belly hitting, then you might want to stop right where you need to, and your feet, your heels, might be on the bottom of the foot plate. Fantastic. If that's the case, then that's your stopping point. You're doing great for the rest of your body, and that's what you need to do. Now, if you're a person who's not limited by one of those other things, and you have ankle flexibility and mobility, you will likely be able to get as far up as you can and keep your heel completely on the bottom. Now, you can't see it because it's my right foot, but my right foot, when I come here, is all the way, my heel is on the foot plate. But you might be able to see that my left, I am up on my toes. I cannot keep my heel down unless I go back. So you can see the shift from here to here. That is the only way for me to get my heel down. Another consideration is your shoes. Going with this part before I get to the shoes, that is going to play a big role. So if I have my heels up, that's completely fine if that's the range that I want to work in and be comfortable in. Now, there's some other reasons besides the mobility and the flexibility that you might want to have your foot on or off of your heel on or off of the bottom of the foot plate. Now, some of that actually has to do with your muscles and your flexibility and what range of motion your muscles are prepared to work in. So what I mean by that is when you're rowing, and let's say that I'm all the way up on my heel is up off of the foot plate here, I need to push through my toes, then gradually get it so that once my heel hits, I'm able to change where the pressure is that I'm putting through my foot. And I've got a whole video on where to push through on your foot that talks about this in more depth. But as you get to, so my heel is up, now my heel is on the foot plate. Once I get here, I'm able to push with more of my foot, and this positioning for me is pretty solid. I'm ready to push and go. Now, if I'm up here and my right heel is down and my left is up, so regardless of where I'm pushing through my foot, my right heel is down, I've put a lot more tension onto my calf here. My calf and the bottom of my foot and those muscles and tendons are really being stretched out. So in order for me to be able to be ready to push really effectively, I have to be able to do that in a position that is basically like this. And there's not a lot of times that we train our muscles to work at this complete end range of that motion for our calf. So if you're training your muscles and if they're comfortable getting in that position, that's fantastic. But if they're not, or you start to feel something in your calf or your Achilles or your foot, then that might be something that you want to pay attention to. You've stretched that muscle as far as it wants to go, and now you're saying, work for me in this really, really hard position that it doesn't really want to work in, and then you're making it use its force and work, and it might not like that. So that could be another reason that you might want to have your heel up. So when it comes to heel up and heel down, to be honest, I'm not a person who is going to tell you have to have your heel down or you have to have your heel up. It really depends on you and your body. Depends on how much mobility and flexibility you have in the ankle, in the muscles around it, like your calf and the bottom of your foot, and what other things that you might be experiencing with aches and pains might be more important for you to focus on. Like if you've got a hip thing or a belly where you shouldn't be going as far forward, and that's going to limit you so that you're not rounding your back, or if you have back pain or things like that, those are things that are going to take a stronger kind of in your face thing to pay attention to. They should take a higher stance in what you should be doing rather than focusing on what your heel is doing. When it comes to the heel part, again, I definitely recommend you check out that video about where to push through on your foot that goes more into detail on those aspects. But I would pretty much start with whatever is comfortable for you. So if you're a person who do this with your foot, and you'll notice that like you're just at about 90 degrees here, then you might want to try having your heel on the foot plate, or you're probably gonna have your heels come up. So you can play with the different things and see what's comfortable for you. If it's causing any aches and pains somewhere, or anything like that, those are all things for you to pay attention to, and that's when I would recommend making a change. But if you're just looking for what should you do, it really depends, unfortunately. Now, I did mention that I would talk about shoes. Shoes are another component. So some people like to row barefoot. Fantastic, awesome. I think it depends on your foot plates and This can sometimes cause a lot of stuff on your heel. I do have a video where I talk about shoes, so you can also check that out. But brief overview for this is anything that has your heel a little bit higher. So for instance, even this shoe here, anything that has your heel a little bit higher than the toe area is kind of like giving you a heel lift. And that means that if you don't have a lot of ankle mobility or you have less, it's actually putting you into a position that's gonna make it seem like you have more mobility. It's gonna put you in an advantaged position for that. That's actually part of the reason that shoes for weightlifting have a little bit of like a heel to them. It's to be able to put you in a great position for the squat, which I talk about in that squatting video. So that's something for you to kind of consider. It might be that a different shoe might be more beneficial, be more comfortable for you. But again, it really depends on what you're feeling and what's going on with you. So all in all, heel up, heel down, good, bad. I think it just depends on you and your body, and it can even vary from left side to right side like it does for me. Some days I row with my heels down. Some days I let my left one come up. Kind of depends on how my body and my muscles are feeling. So that's kind of my view. That's what I do. And I think that you should do what's comfortable for you. So I hope that helps. Please leave any questions or comments below. And I hope you have a great day.